Montaez grew up in the 1960s in Guwahati, California. A small, unorganized farming community located 40 miles east of Los Angeles. Cucamonga Valley in the sun, with his mother, father, grandfather, and 11 children. I made a modest living picking grapes. And they shared a one-room cinder block dwelling at the labor camp. In an all-white school, as a first-generation Mexican immigrant. Montaez had some resources but was struggling to understand his lecturers. I couldn't communicate in English, he subsequently admitted to Lord Ride magazine. One day in class, the teacher repeatedly asked each student in the room. He froze when he called Montaez. I realized I hadn't been dreaming, he says. I have no idea where I came from. Cucamonga Valley is in San Bernardino County, California. He, his father, and his grandfather boarded the work vehicle. He worked in a poultry plant, doing odd things like slaughtering birds, washing automobiles, and selecting morning clothing. With only a fourth-grade education and few economic options. Then, in 1976, a neighbor informed him of a job opportunity. He couldn't read or write, and was in the 4th grade. But he was a considerate janitor. At $4 an hour, the job paid off a lot of what Montaez accomplished in the fields. The 18-year-old paid his wife to assist him fill out the application because he couldn't read or write. Montaez realized he'd never seen Frito-Lay before. He was immediately aware of his presence. He claims to smell clean whenever he enters a room. I didn't believe in the concept of a bodyguard. When you believe, you will be the best. Bakersfield, California Frito-Lay plant. Montaez also worked on philosophy. It's not about who you know, but about who knows who you know. He went out between shifts to observe himself and learn. As much time as he could spend in the warehouse learning about the company's products, he was alone in the middle of the night, watching the machines sift through the garbage. And then the outcome of his voracious inquiry would be gone. Frito-Lay had hit rock bottom by the mid-1980s. To show his support, then CEO Roger Enrico made a video message. And then distributed it to the company's 300,000 employees. Enrico asks every employee of the organization to act like a boss in the video. The majority of employees viewed it as a bureaucratic arrangement. Montaez was moved by it. This is my invitation, as the CEO informs me. So I can act like a boss, I've hired a concierge. I didn't know what I was going to do. It was unnecessary. After nearly a decade of floating floors, Montaez summoned the guts to approach a Frito-Lay salesman. If he could only tag her and learn more about the procedure. They went to a Latino neighborhood convenience store. Montaez kept a continuous inspection going while salesmen closed inventory. When I saw our products on the shelves, they were all plain, he recalls. And there was a shelf of Mexican seasonings right next to these chips. That's when he found that Frito-Lay didn't have anything spicy or fiery. Montaez stopped by a neighborhood seller a few weeks later to acquire some elite chili powder, salt, cottage cheese, lime juice, and queso fresco are the only ingredients used to make Mexican street corn. Elliot, Mexican corn behavior in Flamin Hot Cheetos, via Vallarta Supermarkets, Cheetos, a crispy corn-based nugget with cheese, first appeared on the market in 1948. Frito-Lay's flagship product was the flavoring powder. And when they became popular among California's expanding Latino population, the corporation has yet to rethink its flavor profile. No one considered the Latino market when thinking about the Montenegrin. As a result, Montaez listened to the CEO's comments and acted like an owner. Working late one night at the manufacturing site, he bred a number of cheaters who had never slept in cheese. It brought them home, with the assistance of his wife. He dusted them with his own concoction of chili powder and other unidentified spices. When did he give them to relatives and friends? Montaez was 26 years old at the time. In his words, he couldn't read or write very well. He had no idea how to write a business proposal. He went to the library with his wife and found a book about marketing methods. And I replicated the first 5 paragraphs onto transparencies, word for word. She filled 100 small bags with her own treatments at home. He used a fabric iron to seal them and hand-drew a logo and design on each package. He bought a $3 tie with blue and red stripes on the day of the presentation. He had it knotted by a neighbor. "Don't forget who you are," his wife said as he gathered the baggage at the door. Montaez entered the boardroom. "I was right here," he says. During the presentation, a room executive asked, "How much market share do you believe you can get?" Montaez replied, "But there's so much market share." He replied, opening my arms. I had no idea how amusing it was. The gathering fell silent when the CEO stood up and grinned. "Have you noticed that we have a chance? Is this market share lagging too far behind?" "Spread your arms," he instructed Montaez. "Throw that stick away, you're coming with us." Frito-Lay resumed testing 6 months later, with the assistance of Montaez's Hot Cheetos by Flamin in minor Latin markets. It is located in East Los Angeles. If it does well, the corporation will proceed with the product. They'd scrap it if it didn't happen. And Montaez will very certainly return to supervision. This was his one chance, and some people didn't want things to go well for him. It appeared like there was a group of executives that wanted to fail. He eventually revealed this to the podcast. "They believed I was lucky," said the passionate few. "They didn't want it done by a janitor." Flamin Hot Cheetos are one of Frito-Lay's best-selling products right now. Montaez is no longer a spotless floor. During his 35-year career, the former defender worked in business. Now, he works as a vice president at Pepsi America, Multicultural Sales, the corporation that owns Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay had only 3 Cheetos products before joining the Montana management team. Since then, the corporation has launched over 20 products, each priced at $300 million. Tell us in the comments what your favorite facts was from this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more.